right, get this set up, y'all. So I wanted to come on here real quick and update y'all. Excuse me, I wasn't really planning to do this, but there's some things that need to be said, I guess. And it has to do with crooked politicians and police who think that they can determine what our rights are. So let's talk about that. And I'm talking specifically right now about Louisiana, but this is across the country. Yeah. So before I jump into it, I want to just remind everybody about, I did a little video last night. Look, Blackout Coffee is not Black Rifle, and we got a lot of people who were throwing their complaints, directing them at us, and we get that people are upset with what some other companies have done or the way they handle themselves, but it wasn't us. So if you're gonna throw some comments at them, just make sure it gets to them. So thank you all for buying coffee from Blackout Coffee, and we had an issue with the website for ordering, and it's been rectified. So that's that. Also check out uscca.com/GNG. They're the sponsor of this live stream right here. If you're into training and education and want to have a byproduct of self-defense liability insurance, check out uscca.com/GNG, and I'll throw the link down below. Let's go right into Louisiana. So Louisiana, Governor John Bel Edwards vetoed constitutional carry. I've covered it here, and other channels have as well. And we've been trying to motivate the folks in Louisiana to get on their senators because we kind of saw the writing on the wall what was going to happen. And far too often, let me adjust this, sorry. Far too often, politicians, the way they work is they say, we support the Constitution, we support the Second Amendment, but. And in this case, when the governor came out early in the process and said, I'm going to veto it, a lot of us knew that some of those politicians who just want your vote, want your support to get them their next paycheck, they said, you know what, I'll support this bill, SB 118. SB 118, sorry, constitutional carry. And we'll support that, yeah, because, the Constitution's great, and so is the Second Amendment, and I'm a gun owner, and I have a gun collection, knowing that it wasn't going to pass. And so governor vetoes it, and about 2 hours ago, the veto session, the override session was happening. And first was the Senate, and then it was going to go to the House if it made it through the Senate, but it failed. And it failed because 4 of your senators in Louisiana flipped their vote. Now, why would they vote, yeah, I'm for the Second Amendment, I love it, but then when their name has to be put on the record to really support it, to overturn the governor, they're like, no, we can't have that here. Now, I watched a lot of it. I did have to go into a meeting, so I missed the end of it, but I know they all said the same thing. We're for the Second Amendment, but we spoke to all of the police chiefs and sheriffs. Now, not all of the sheriffs are anti-gun. A lot of them were in favor of constitutional carry. Not all the chiefs were, but most of the city chiefs always are because they're politicians, they're hacks. So several of them, and I'm going to give you the names of these senators, 3 Republicans, 1 Democrat, all flipped, and they were using you, the voters, to get their next check because they weren't going to support this. They weren't going to support constitutional carry. Why? Because it would have got rid of the money. It would have gotten rid of the permit process, and politicians love spending your money. So these are the 4 clowns that you need to just get rid of. Call them, express your angst, your anger, but get them out of office because they played you, like most politicians do, but they played you on the Second Amendment. Number 1 is Patrick. I'm going to put this in front of me so I don't have to look like a dope. Patrick Connick voted for it originally, but once his name had to be put on record to go against the governor, I don't want to do that because maybe the governor promised me something. I don't know, maybe. So he switched. He's a Republican. Louis Bernard, I watched that clown. I mean, he said 2 sentences, and I was texting back and forth with GOA. 2 sentences, and I knew he was flipping. He's a jellyfish, a spineless jellyfish. Gary Smith did the same thing, and these guys all had the same thing. And Ronnie Johns. Now, Ronnie Johns was a no-show, which is a no vote, and he voted for it, but conveniently didn't show up when they absolutely needed his vote. So what were they saying? They were saying that, we spoke to the police, and this will make the job of the police more difficult. And what would happen if all these people started to be able to have a gun without training and without the permitting process? To which I even said to GOA, and I said it out loud watching this thing, is like, what criminal, like literally, what criminal says, wait a second, I'm not going to carry this blaster on the conda to go sling my rock unless I get the proper training and get a permit? Freaking none. Zero. None. But they want you to be able to go through those hoops and make that payment before you can defend yourself or others. Let me get rid of this right here. Sorry. I got a little pop-up from my kids. So that happened moments ago. You lost the opportunity for this year's constitutional carry in Louisiana because of those 4 ass clowns. So get rid of them. Let them know you saw what they did, or you were made aware of it. Get rid of their asses. And find constitutional folks who will run for office and support them. Now, a message that I've said it a few times, but apparently we need to all get on the same page with this. Right there, we the people run this ship. We the people have forgotten that we run this ship. You know who thinks they run this ship? Politicians and law enforcement. And you know, if I'm saying this about law enforcement, that I've like had enough, because no cop, no sheriff, no chief, no conglomerate, no director, no ASAC, no SAC, none of y'all decide what the rights of the people are. You don't supersede the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. So stop acting like you do. Police always say, oh, the requirement for training is great. No, it's not. When Pookie and Ray Ray kick in my door, I don't care what kind of training that is in my house. If my wife has to pick up a gun and send them to their maker because they're threatening her or our kids, so be it. I don't care what classes she's been to or she hasn't. When somebody on the street is about to get raped, should we say you need to just sit there and get raped because you haven't gone through the proper training? No, that's not what we do. So with that in mind, have conversations with your officials. Get to know these people because they work for you. You shouldn't be afraid to talk to them. And be stern with these folks. Your chiefs of police too. Your sheriffs too. I believe it was 16 sheriffs. I haven't read all the stuff going back to a couple months, a month or two through the process. But I think it was 16 sheriffs that were against constitutional carry. I could be wrong. Maybe it was 16 that weren't. But know that they all weren't for it and they all weren't against it. But you need to figure out who's on our side and jettison their ass, because it's time to take the country back. Sick and tired of the bullshit. It's a live stream. I got to be careful with the language. But I'm frustrated, and you should be too, because police, politicians, teachers, boards, school committees, none of y'all make up the rules and regulations of the country. It's time to take the country back, guys and gals. More of us need to be more vocal. More of us need to take more action before it's time to take action. So with that said, I appreciate you all showing up and spending some time here. Hit that like button so more people see it, because this is an enraged one, so YouTube's not going to want to show it a lot. But no, and I'll give you the names again because there's a couple people who asked for it again. Patrick Connick, Louis Berdard, Gary Smith, and Ronnie Johns. Those folks voted for constitutional carry, and the first 3 voted against it today when it mattered. And Ronnie Johns decided he was going to be a no-show because apparently he had something more important to do than to stand for your right to keep and bear arms, your right to defend your kids, your wife, your loved ones, your neighbors, and your own life. I don't know what he was doing, but if he's your senator, your state senator, you need to ask him what was that important, where he threw everybody else under the bus. That's how you get to these folks. Yeah, and don't be afraid to talk to your chiefs and talk to these sheriffs, because they're just clowns. They're political hacks. They're political appointees. And I know I'm pissing a lot of them off because I know a lot of them. And I used to live and work in Louisiana. So I know a lot of the guys and gals who are on the job down there. And you know what? Get in line. Do the job the way it's supposed to be. Otherwise, you're going to be on the wrong side of history, the wrong side of the righteous. So with that said, guys and gals, I just want to remind everybody, if you were checking out the Blackout Coffee website and you ran into an issue with being able to put things in the cart, we had an issue with the web program. It has been rectified. Thank you to everybody who has reached out. Saying the good things about the company. We love to hear it. For those who reached out about the bad things about the other companies, plural, just know that it's not us. So direct your anger at the right people, and that's why I did that little quick redirect last night, because we got a lot of hate. There was a lot of venom out there, and we pride ourselves on doing it the right way. So, guys and gals, please check out the sponsors, because that's what makes this possible. Don't forget uscca.com/GNG will help protect you if you have to protect yourself. and the chiefs of police and the politicians don't get to tell you when you get to protect yourself. So until we see each other again, y'all, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. I'll see you on the next one, and be that person that your community can count on. Okay, it doesn't get any more righteous than that. Be that person who's willing to do the right thing when nobody else will. Take care, everybody.